my name is Carson and welcome to the series A Film a Week. In this series I will essentially pick out a film to watch and analyze every week, pick out an element or theme that stood out, and go into depth about it in a video. This week I'll be talking about one of my favorite animated movies of all time, My Neighbor Totoro. This movie was released in 1988 and was animated by Studio Ghibli and was directed by the great Hayao Miyazaki, who is responsible for other animated classics like Spirited Away. The man has quite literally never put out a bad film, and My Neighbor Totoro is possibly what set Miyazaki's trajectory for greatness and legacy. The film was both heavily adored by critics and fans, earning 94% on Rotten Tomatoes and being nominated for numerous awards. Totoro has also made many cameos in modern animated films, as My Neighbor Totoro's legacy still affects the world's cinema today. The film follows two young girls, Satsuki and Mei, in the 1950s in rural Japan as they move into an old, worn-out house in order to be closer to their mother, who's been hospitalized with a long-term illness. It's odd, but My Neighbor Totoro doesn't really have a major antagonist or much conflict. The film just follows Satsuki and Mei in their everyday childhood, and Miyazaki often does this in his films, by never portraying a true antagonist, or at least never portraying an unsympathetic one. Miyazaki is able to depict a sense of realness in his films. He depicts life, and the forces of antagonism are just that, life. This rings true for My Neighbor Totoro. Satsuki and Mei are not faced with a supernatural being hell-bent on destruction, or a mad titan wanting to destroy half the life in the universe. They are simply faced with the pressure of moving somewhere new, the pressure of having their mom in the hospital, the pressures of life. And in this conflict, and how this conflict is resolved, is where Miyazaki rooted the theme of My Neighbor Totoro, the importance of childlike wonder. The difficulties of moving into a new home cannot be overstated. The prospect of staying somewhere new, stepping outside one's comfort zone, is scary. Many would consider moving into an old, rickety, worn-out house to live closer to their hospitalized mother as a negative situation. Yet, when Satsuki and Mei are first confronted with this idea, it is not fear nor despair that is displayed, but optimism and wonder, a childlike wonder. And it is this wonder that allows them to make a smooth transition into their new home. Everything is new, everything is fresh in the minds of Satsuki and Mei. Everything is yet to be discovered, and I believe the mysteries of life in a child, the wonder, can be personified in Totoro. Totoro serves as the physical embodiment of the two girls' imagination, their sincere and simplistic outlook on life. And through this, Miyazaki can further relay his thoughts on the importance of keeping that childlike wonder throughout life. Take this scene for example. Satsuki and Mei are left at the bus stop, waiting for their dad who should have been on the previous bus. One way the scene can be interpreted is like this. The rain symbolizes the dark and trying times of life and adulthood, constantly beating and pounding on our two protagonists as they shelter under the safety of an umbrella. Satsuki must juggle the struggles of taking care of a young, dependent little sister, a working father, and a hospitalized mother. A lot for such a small child, and sadly this is a very real and common situation in life. However, Totoro stands with Satsuki in the pouring rain, unsheltered and worn. But by giving Totoro an umbrella, by making it a priority to shelter Totoro through the pouring and beating rain, Satsuki is symbolically choosing to foster and nurture her childlike wonder, her optimistic outlook, her belief that no matter the trials, she will be alright. And this is when the rain stops. What I believe Miyazaki is trying to say here is that when you embrace your inner child, when you hold on to your young, optimistic point of view, that the trying and burdensome times of life become a little more bearable, become a little easier to endure. This is further conveyed at the end of the film. Satsuki and Mei discover that their mother will not be released from the hospital as soon as expected, throwing both of our protagonists into fits of rage. Both are overwhelmed at the situation they find themselves in, and they take out their frustration on each other. Another truth in life can be found in this. Humans tend to lash out at those closest to them when they're found in dire situations that they can't control, that they can't impact. As this is the first time in the entire film that we see the two fight, the significance and tension of the scene to the audience is heightened. Mei sets off to go to the hospital, on her own, to deliver her mother something she believes will cure her. and expectantly she gets lost. Satsuki spends hours upon hours, runs miles upon miles to find Mei, but she is unsuccessful. It is only when Satsuki enlists the help of Totoro that she succeeds. By having Satsuki seek and rely on aid from Totoro, the physical embodiment of the child's optimism, Miyazaki drives home the importance of childlike wonder. Satsuki and Mei could have succumbed to the oppressive and harsh aspects of life, but they didn't. They embraced their inner child. They embraced their inner creativity and sincerity. They embraced their natural, accepting sense of wonder unmarked by skepticism or cynicism. Miyazaki is saying in this cruel, unforgiving world, this childlike wonder and faith is not only beneficial and helpful, but essential for happiness.